city street, a quiet hush, a frozen beat. December air, sharp and cold, a story waiting to be told. We gather round a fading light, seeking truth to make things right. From every mountain, every shore, we're knocking on justice's door. For the silence and the lost, we remember the cost. For the future we must build a promise to be fulfilled. Seeking justice, let truth flow. We the people, let it snow, let justice grow.
Well, folks, we the people want to know, wouldn't you agree? We want to know what the heck is going on in the Idaho 4 case. Who would agree? This is outrageous, egregious, horrifying. What did we watch for the last few years? Shoot, I forgot my water bottle. Wow, I am just amazed. Just amazed with everything coming out. So freaking wild. I will never steer any of you wrong. I will always be as truthful, full of integrity as I can within the law. If you ask me to do something illegal, I will never do it. Ever. Ever. Okay? I'm just saying, folks. I'm here voicing my own opinions. My banner is up. Anything I talk about that is public, absolutely 100% public. And I am going to get freaking fiery, spicy on this Friday. It is our giveaway day. I'll do it in midstream. We have so much to be thankful for. So much to be thankful. Amazing time to be here. Amazing time in the social media, individual communities. This is what things are made of. So incredible. I can't even begin to tell you. Holy freaking moly. I have FOIA'd yet again 4 new documents, 4 new videos, 4 new anything that explains what I am looking for. I'm telling you, folks, my honor, on my military service honor, I will always tell you the truth, whether it be good, bad, or the ugly. And I'm going to add some pictures of faces on the left side of this little Moscow PD information. Yes, folks, this came from Moscow PD. This didn't come from anywhere else. I did not make this chart. I would never lie to you. I would never deceive you, but it is right here. Right here, folks. Right here in the Moscow Police Department files. There is over 578 pages, and these are the people. I just screenshotted it and highlighted it for you. So I don't know who JH is, but I know who Kai Nguyen is, KN. We've seen her investigative interrogation, questioning. She gave up a lot of info without questioning. PC, kind of have an idea who that might be. BP, I might have an idea who that is. DL, we all know who that is now. I've requested any type of FOIA regarding David Loach. Nothing has come back. I have requested a FOIA with AA, the guy who said he was cutting chicken with the pocket knife and didn't go to the hospital until after the police were on scene at 1122. JK, I did a FOIA on Jack. Did a FOIA on a JK. Another JK. Did a FOIA on her. Yes, a her. Did a FOIA on Hunter Isaac Johnson. And I did another FOIA on Emily Allant. I think I'm up to 37 FOIAs. Only 2 have been answered. Most of the other ones have been said that it is a privacy issue. All right, Moscow, we hear you. We're just speculating. We're just watching because you had all this information. And typically, did you know that a crime is solved? How many hours that's a great question. How many hours do you think a crime is solved in? Drop your number below. Let's see if you guys get it. $36, 48, A&E, 48. I got an If you are here, hit that thumbs up. That's all I ask of you. Hit the thumbs up, share a video. Emily Allant. Correct. EA is Emily Allant. Same day. And this is really important to look at these dates, folks. Emily Allant, same day, was involved. I don't know what their involved means, but that's pretty heavy. And then on the 13th, Hunter Isaac Johnson, JK on the 13th, JK again on the 13th. Then they got to Chicken Guy. Then they got to DL. Then they got to BP. Then they got to PC. Then they got to Kai Nguyen. You saw her interview. And then they got to somebody named JH. JH. The complainant with Bethany Funk. They gave her name, used her number. She's the one that made the 911 call. Yes, she did. And I have told you, she is protected. She is safe for some reason. And I think I know why, but that's just my humble opinion. But when you begin looking at the pictures and everything that I'm sharing with you, you will know. So the initial critical window, short answer, is 0 to 48 hours. Typical clearance, if solved quickly, days to weeks. Complex cases, months to years. Some are never solved. So the golden window is 24 to 48 hours. That is where most solvable murders are won or lost. So that reminds you, again, investigators focus on the securing the scene, identifying victims versus witnesses, which we've seen in the court records, collecting time-sensitive evidence. You saw where they went in and went back and went in and went back, interviewing people before stories aligned. Too late. I think they had 8 hours to align some story. Tracking of phones, vehicle surveillance, establishing last known contact, or adding new contacts. And last seen alive, which is a mystery, with Xana and Ethan, because technically Xana and Ethan were last seen at a Sigma Chi event party. Okay? Yes. Hunga Dunga. And then after the little Bella Ball, Hunga Dunga, I believe, and then a party. They were last seen at a party. No one really said when they left. So in my humble opinion, they were last seen at the Sigma Chi party. I could be wrong, but that's what I read. And here's the problem. Mistakes or delays are permanently can cripple a case, even if evidence exists, like 3 dumpsters that were collected of possible evidence. So Brian Koberger couldn't put enough evidence in 3 trash cans all around the area and get away hot, lickety split, in my opinion. So when a murder is considered solved, the suspect is identified, charged, or confesses. Well, they identified Brian Koberger, wasn't him. It reminds me of that Shaggy song, wasn't me. I saw you in the kitchen, wasn't me. I saw you on the bathroom, wasn't me. Charged or confessed, didn't confess, definitely charged. A piece of PCA that you could wipe your behind with. Or the case is exceptionally cleared. What does that mean? All evidence analyzed, which I don't think is done. The timeline is not complete. And the alternative suspects are never ruled out because there's 2 unidentified DNA. Cold case. If I could scream it from the rooftops, I have written so many senators, so many congressmen. I have written DOJ. I have written Donald Trump. I have certified letters. I have written the Labrador. I have written all kinds of people in Idaho, all kinds of people in Washington. Anyone to have the balls to stand up and defend Koberger in this case, this world well known case. People are watching from other countries, and they are asking, what the hell is happening in the USA with this Koberger case? What do you mean, 2 unidentified unknown DNA? What the frickety split are we watching? Oh, I'm about to get hot. Typical timelines in a murder investigation, they move fast. Known suspects, partner, ex, family, clear motive, eyewitness confession, on-scene evidence. That's usually 12 to 72 hours. I hope, Miss Anonymous, if she wins that seat, Governor Little's got to go. We tried 8 years ago. I mean, we've been trying. He's got to go. In a standard homicide, 2 to 6 months, 2 weeks to 6 months. Some evidence, partial digital trail, multiple interviews, lab work pending. Complex, high profile cases, I would say 6 months to several years. Cold cases, y'all, I was listening to something yesterday. Holy freaking moly. When I begin to tell you this, you're going to be like, what? Okay. Now, I don't know if anyone's seen this before. Don't know. Not sure. But there was a case in Hollywood, a well-known actor, and I'm sure some of you have heard this. Okay. Let me just pull it up because I don't want to say it wrong. 60 years to solve a murder. 60 years to solve a murder, folks. I'm sure some of you have heard about this case. 60 years. 1959, George Reeves. He was found dead in his home. Superman! From a gunshot wound to the head, initially ruled as suicide. The circumstances surrounding his death have led to ongoing speculation and investigation into whether it was indeed murder. They admitted it after 60 years. Nothing could be done. Nothing could be done because they said the LAPD was in their pocket. They made this go away. Yes, they admitted guilt. They admitted guilt. Finally solved. They did solve this case 5 months ago or something like that. It was indeed solved. Crazy stuff happening in our world today. Listen to this. Listen to this.
Is that your theory that basically Eddie Mannix was going to take care of his hysterical wife by blowing away her former lover?
Yes, it's more than a theory to me. I'm prejudicial about it because
this guy was called a conspiracy theorist. Now, you all called me that in the beginning of the TikTok days. I told you I was a conspiracy realist.
I witnessed the confession, but she was also a rageaholic. So she had the means, she had the motive, and she had the toughest guy, the most powerful guy in Hollywood, MGM, which ruled all of Hollywood, who had the power to fix things.
On a dark night in 1959, America's Superman, George Reeves, died from a single gunshot to the head in his Hollywood home, a death the police quickly ruled a suicide. But many believe the evidence pointed not to self-destruction, but to a brutal murder involving his lover, Toni Lanier, and her husband, Eddie Mannix, one of the most powerful and feared studio fixers in Hollywood. The truth of that night was deliberately buried under the weight of secrets, lies, and a crime scene that screamed foul play. Downstairs, as Reeves's body grew cold, a bizarre party of three waited, including his fiancée, the volatile socialite Leonore Lemon. Fueled by whiskey, they didn't call the police for nearly an hour after the fatal shot echoed through the house. Their stories would shift and contradict each other, painting a chaotic picture of arguments and strange indifference. This suspicious delay gave whoever was responsible a golden hour to obscure the truth, raising the immediate question of what really happened.
It gave them an hour to get their story straight before they were going to tell the police, folks. Yes, factual. This is wild. They only had an hour. Can you imagine University of Idaho? They had how many hours? 8 hours from 4 a.m. What if I told you it was more like 12 hours?
Before the authorities were finally called, the physical evidence was a prosecutor's nightmare and a conspiracist's dream. The 9mm Luger pistol was found between Reeves's feet, an unnatural position for a suicide, according to some experts. Bafflingly,
unnatural position. Hello? And these people who were screaming, no, somebody killed him. It was a murder.
Police found no usable fingerprints on the weapon, not even from Reeves himself. And while the official autopsy
couldn't find fingerprints on the murder weapon, not even his own. Folks, this is crazy.
He confirmed the gun was fired at close range. Other details from the chaotic scene continued to raise damning questions.
Chaotic scene. Does that sound familiar?
Investigators also discovered two other bullet holes in the master bedroom, evidence of a wild scene, not a quiet moment of despair. A hysterical Leonore Lemon confessed she had drunkenly fired the gun into the floor earlier that night during a fight with Reeves.
She fired the weapon?
But was this an unrelated outburst, or were these shots part of a violent struggle for the weapon that ended in murder? What do you think is the most suspicious piece of evidence from the crime scene? Let us know in the comments. To understand the man who died, you have to know the man who lived before the Cape.
Okay, so that was the story of George Reeves, not Christopher Reeves. I know he had an accident. I know some people will think, oh, yeah, no, this is George Reeves. Yeah, Superman curse, right? So there was no fingerprints on the weapon that they could use. They believed the story everyone was telling. Okay. It was suspicious. The gun was found between his feet and no fingerprints were found on it. They raised questions about the suicide ruling. Additionally, 2 other bullets were discovered in the bedroom, suggesting a struggle or altercation. Now, the conspiracy was it was a big hit. Somebody put a hit on him. I don't know about that. I don't know who actually did it, but it was finally solved. And let me get to the final solving one. This is crazy. This is wild, folks. I'm just like baffled. When I started reading and listening to this, I was like, you got to be kidding me. Okay, so obviously there was a lot of half truths. There was an hour and between the police being called, and here we go.
For comfort. Some researchers believe the crash was a warning, a signal to stop talking, stop moving forward, and stop making trouble. But Reeves didn't slow down. He was trying to rebuild his career, cut ties with Tony, and move into a new phase of his life. That push for independence may have been seen as a threat by people who didn't want him free. Then, there's the theory surrounding the gun used in Reeves's death. Official reports said it was his own weapon, but details don't add up. The gun was freshly oiled, which wiped away any fingerprints. That's odd behavior for someone about to commit self-harm. There were also no clear signs that anyone had broken into the house. But what if the killer didn't have to break in? This is where things get darker. Some now believe William Bliss.
Now remember, I'm going to stop it here. They accused the LAPD of being involved, and it was a cover-up. It was a murder. They ruled it as a homicide. They ruled it as a suicide, and now, obviously, after 60 years,
body may have been more than just a witness. He could have been a distraction, someone invited to draw attention away from other movements in the house. While guests chatted downstairs, a second man may have slipped into Reeves's room, fired the fatal shot with a silenced weapon, and staged the scene. It would explain the calm behavior of the guests and the lack of any alarm. No one saw another person enter or leave, but the house was large and busy that night. Doors were unlocked, lights were on, and Reeves was already irritated by the surprise gathering.
After a party.
All it would have taken was a few minutes of confusion, just enough time to carry out a quiet, targeted hit. If someone like Eddie Mannix wanted the job done right, he had the means and the network to make it look like a clean self-harm. What's more troubling is how quickly the investigation was closed. The police accepted the self-harm theory without fully questioning everyone or following up on clear red flags. That kind of quick resolution hints at influence from someone powerful. LAPD in the 1950s had a reputation for corruption and strong ties to Hollywood studios. If Mannix made a few calls, the case could have been wrapped before the press had time to dig deeper. The more you look, the more it seems George Reeves wasn't just a man who fell into despair. He was tangled in a web of loyalty, betrayal, and quiet threats. Eddie Mannix stood at the center of that web, calm, connected, and possibly lethal. The evidence may never be enough to convict, but it's more than enough to doubt the official story. This wasn't just a Hollywood tragedy. It may have been a silent execution. George Reeves died alone, but not unnoticed. Now, the clues point to something bigger, and the truth is finally surfacing. What really happened to Superman? The mystery of George Reeves's death still sits at a crossroads of 3 grim possibilities. The first is self-harm, where he was overcome with depression, rejection, and a stalled career, and finally gave up. The second is an accident, where a heated fight or careless handling of a gun turned fatal in a flash. The third and most disturbing is killing, that someone powerful decided Reeves had become a problem and quietly removed him.
Now, remember what I told you about associates. If there was any type of business dealings going on in Moscow, Idaho, around the 1122 King Road address or in that area, was this having to do something with business? I mean, we stand on business, right? You got to take care of some issues, you got to do some deeds. Yep, take care of business. Look at the connections here, folks. Now, I made a video. It's going to piss some people off, of course. What else is new? I mean, honestly, it gets old. But you know what? If you did your homework, you did your research, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's watch the video. We'll roll them. I'll get into it. It might get hot and spicy around here before we do our giveaway. So just bear with me and welcome in every single one of you. I am so glad that you are here. Yes, it's horrific. He was finally indicted for cyber stalking. Cyber stalking. It's wild. I gotta go back. Gotta go back.
Researcher, any good researcher, investigator out there will tell you to read the documents in the Idaho 4 because LB in MPD 84 document is very clear to see it is Lyndon Beck because there's some key words in here that you must read. And I'm here to tell you the absolute truth in this case. You don't want to miss out. Let's read it together. Lyndon Beck. Now, this clearly says 84 Lawrence Mowry, LB. The phone was powered on and I placed it into airplane mode to protect any potential evidence on the phone from being removed or remotely deleted. Something the photos of evidence and attach them to the case file. The phone required a passcode to access the data on this device. B. Now, all these pictures are public info. All these reports.
I don't know what happened to my video, but B, I was telling the key word here is
not clear to see words in here that you must read. And I'm here to tell you the absolute truth in this case. You don't want to miss out. Let's read it together. Lyndon Beck. Now, this
obviously, I don't know what happened to my audio, but it says the phone required passcode to access the data in the device. B provided a passcode. His blank code, his security code of XXXXX. His. That means that this is a male. There is a creator out there telling you that LB is Mawich's fiance, Lena Black. Well, unless Lena had something, I don't know, but it's a guy here in this document. And who is Lyndon Beck? Well, Lyndon Beck is great friends with Emily Allant and the boyfriend of Josie L. You know, Josie, all close friends, that knows Mason Bangman, the guy who was arrested in Caldwell for substances and possibly dealing. Okay, yeah, the same Emily Allant and the people they hang out with, and there's Xana. Okay, so I mean, that's the connections that you need to look at. When you see this, you think, oh, interesting. Okay, you see some people in here that kind of are sus, in my humble opinion. I mean, you have to wonder, right? You have to wonder who they know because look at who they said was involved. Emily Allant was involved. I don't know what they mean by involved. Okay. And then HIJ, KLMNOP, HIJ is Hunter Isaac Johnson. JK, I think I know who that is. JK, again, she is listed. AA is the chicken man, cutting his hand and, you know, Someone said, oh, you need to be looking at fingers. Somebody who lost their finger. Okay. DL, I asked for some FOIAs in regards to that. BP, C, I think that is I wanted to say a C, P, C or PO. Don't know who that is. K, Kai Nguyen, we know who that is. And JH. There are people that are mentioned in here that are connected. Look at the dates, folks. They had all these people's names, the date, and we're not talking about new investigators. We're talking about seasoned investigators. When I say I won't steer you wrong, I won't steer you wrong. But when their investigations started pointing at certain people, I think people were brought in for the narrative of Dot, here's your role, play a party goer, maybe, have some fun with it. Maybe some creators that were getting paid to do some shady shit. Yeah, I'm going to say it because I don't have anybody paying my bills. I pay my own bills. Folks, I'm not going to steer you wrong. Nothing to see here. Keep on moving, folks. That's what they say, right? Yes. So when you start seeing some familiar names and you wonder why the investigation went to Boise, well, you know why the investigation went to Boise. Why did the national security or homeland security get involved? Why did this become such a big deal? Because everyone told half truths. We all know that song, Why You Always Lie. And yeah, that's what I feel like singing to these people. They were half truths. So either this is real, because I do see in the repository 3 people who were stopped at the Banfield. Oh, and did I mention? I didn't even mention this, folks. This is the most important part. All these pictures are public. They're not private. They're out there on the internet for everyone to see.
84 Lawrence Mowry, LB. The phone, I something the photos of evidence and attach them to the case file. The phone required a passcode to access the data on this device. B. Now, all these pictures are public info. All these reports are public info. Anyone can type the name in and see this in and on the internet. You're welcome. Be well.
Lyndon Beck. Oh, Lyndon Beck. Wow. Josie and they're in here. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, yeah, they went. Yeah, maybe they went to the wedding of Emily and Hunter. Maybe. Alleged. Yeah, he was a lacrosse player. He is. Oh, Delta Ta Delta. Interesting. Had some scholarships. Wow. Lacrosse player. There you go. All right. Solves that one. I was looking again. The initials were GM, LM, and I think PM off the top of my head. That was said in a restaurant. And Scott Perky, I believe, is the one that gave the statement to the Moscow Police Department. Les, I believe so. I really believe so. So they were talking about somebody historically was in the area that lived in there that rented this house at one time. He was a co-owner of, and he was saying that there was somebody running around doing horrible things. And yes, he said that I could sneak in that house and no one would know that I would do it. Absolutely. Yes, there were threats. Don't you think they would have investigated that? But it didn't take them down this path. It didn't. Because look at this. Look at this. And remember yesterday when I was showing you all the people they took DNA from? All the people? Where we know it doesn't connect to Brian Koberger. We know that. So where did this investigation connect to? Anybody want to take a lucky guess? I found some interesting things too in some repository about the University of Idaho. This is from their GEM in 1979. University Idaho Library, thanks. I was looking for familiar names to see who was connected. And some of these pictures, I will throw this in the chat. You guys can go look too. Yes, report 77. Do you guys want to see that report? So I believe Scott Perky called Chief Fry Is that the one, Amanda, you're talking about? 77? So he calls Chief Fry, does an interview, and you know what? You can't just call and talk to a chief of police, right? Somebody with that much power to get through to the chief of police. I mean, they screen everyone's calls, folks. It's not like you're just calling up and say, "Hey, let me speak to the chief." You know, who the hell are you? He must have known Scott Perky. Maybe had some run-ins with them before. Who knows? That's all alleged. I'm just saying. Small town, people know people. Absolutely know people. So let me just take a look at this real quick. Let me grab 77, MPD 77. And let me get this for you real quick. Hold on one second. Okay, so MPD 77. Let me grab this real quick. Okay, let's see. I remember them talking about it in a restaurant when he said, one of them said this. And again, we don't know if this is factual. We don't know. Did they ever vet this person saying this? Did they ever go and interview so-and-so that was named in this? I mean, all this is heavily redacted. We really still honestly don't know. So I'm trying to get to 77 because I don't know the exact page number off the top of my head. And I did not have it in my notes. Okay, here it is. 77. I just scrolled through it. Okay. James Fry, again, I was right. There it is. I remember. At least my memory's not leaving my side anytime soon. So let me just make this a little bigger. Okay, so James Fry wrote this report on 12/15/22, almost a month after. And this was with SP, Scott Perky. He was the co-owner. Okay, it was 100% alive that I heard that story going over that report. Yeah. Okay, so 1953 is his birthday. I verified this. This was truly him. On 12/13, okay, at approximately 8 o'clock at night, I interviewed Scott Perky in Idaho at the blankety blank blank. Perky had called me several days earlier to report some information he had regarding the quadruple homicide. So how would he have information? Starts with the G, correct. GM. I told you it was GM. GM, RM, DM, and PM. Okay, so it starts with the name starts with a G. So it says, I asked Perky if the information he would be sharing be dealing with one person. P told me it was. I asked P if I could get the individual's name. P told me the person's name is G or G. Okay, it's heavily redacted. Later identified as GM, born 2003. Now, when you go back to this, we've done a whole live about this GM thing. We don't see anybody on here with GM. I don't see a GM on here, but I do see an LM that was mentioned. Okay, there is an LM and a JM that's been mentioned. I don't see any other initials with G. All right, so let's go back to the report and we'll continue reading. GM in 2003. P told him he did not know the individual's last name, but believed he knew where he lived. P told me he lived in the blank apartments, and I can only think that's 2 words, and that would be Queen Road Apartments. P told me that this apartment is just off Taylor Avenue. Then turn onto Linda Lane and then right onto yada, yada, yada. Oh, so maybe this isn't Queen Road Apartments. Maybe this is another apartments out there. Okay, so if you go, he lived off blank apartments. P told me this apartment is just off Taylor Avenue. Then turn onto Linda Lane and then right onto, if you turn onto Linda Lane, and then right onto blank street, and the apartment is across from the blank blank. Gosh, that's I'll look into this. I'll go deep dive. I'll use my maps. If you're in here, hit the thumbs up button. P told me G lives in the blank apartments. That looks like a tiny name for apartments. P told me G lives in the blank apartments. Is that Ivy Apartments? Hold on, folks. Ivy Apartments. Is that what they call the Grove at Moscow? The Grove? Ivy Apartments. That's the Grove. Holy moly. I think it's the Grove. Somebody referred to them as the Ivy Apartments before. And that word looks so little on here. It's not Empire. It's not Bluebird. I think it's the Grove. Was the Grove ever known as the Ivy Apartments? Ivy. That word looks too small, doesn't it? Grove? No, it looks like Ivy. Ivy Apartments. Huh. I'm going to have to go down this rabbit hole. The Meadows, the Queen Apartments, the Empire, the Landing, the Garfield. That is a small little word to put in there. I thought it would have been the Ivy. I'll go back. It's not the Star. It's not the North Star. It's not the Palouse. It's not the Empire. It's not Clearwater. That word is really small in here. It's not North Star. Louder? I don't think it's Louder. I have a list of all the apartments in Moscow around that area. Maybe it's Taylor. Taylor Avenue Apartments. No, it can't be. That word's still too small. Ashbury Flats, the Empire, Valley Village. Village Apartments? No, that word's still too small. Sunrise, too large. Camas Village, Camas? No. Where's the deck? Snippets. There it is. There it is. Someone had told me a long time ago, and it just hit me because this 3-letter word right here is very small. The blank apartments. Ivy Apartments. Ah, that is interesting. The Grove was called the Ivy. Interesting. However, official sources, the Grove at Moscow, a key student housing provider, consistently refer as the Grove, suggesting Ivy might be a nickname or confusion with a different. Thank you, Amanda B. You are so amazing. So amazing. Freaking amazing. Okay. Somebody had told me that years ago, and I just realized that was the Ivy when I saw little tiny letters. Okay. So let's go with Ivy. I did. I read it, Les. Thumbs up. Love. Lots of love to Amanda, one of my amazing mods and researchers. She is freaking on it. Thank you, Amanda B. And she's got some amazing artwork. All right. Okay, so it is the Ivy Apartments. So Perky told me G lives in the Ivy Apartments. So he lived at the Grove. P began by explaining to me that he had done a lot of work for DK, who was the prior owner of blank. DK was the prior owner of 1122. Scott Perky at the time was a current co-owner. Okay. P told me he has been a friend of the family for many years and has done handyman jobs for the past 4 blank DP. He told me in 2020 he drove D and his daughter L and G up to a place the family goes to have a vacation almost every year. P told me after they got there, R, who is one of D's sisters, got into an altercation with a male who was camped near where they were. P told me it was a heated argument, but everyone eventually went back to their campsites. P told me later in the evening he noticed R and L were walking past the male's campsite. So when he went up the hill where he could observe and make sure nothing was going to happen, P told me he had been up the hillside for several minutes in the dark when all of a sudden G appeared out of nowhere. P told me it startled him for a minute because he never heard or saw where G came from. P told me G pulled out a knife to show him. Now, yes, he was born in 1953. He's up there in age right now. And this was Scott Perky's take on possibly what had happened. Now, is it a coincidence that somebody, GM out there, who is GM? Whose last name and GM 2003? It's got to be 20 something. Okay. And P told me it was a hunting style knife. P told me he had spoken to G, who had showed up great interest having a career in the military. Who is this? Who is this? I asked P if he could describe the knife to me. P told me it was a typical inch blade hunting skinning knife. P told me he'd never heard of G's grades in school but dropped out and that L had been extremely abusive to him. I asked L and G I asked how they would travel to Moscow from Boise. P told me he believed that he got a ride on the bus when they traveled. P told me that when he stayed in Moscow at D's house, G, is this Mortenston? Okay, shit, I can't make this shit up. I can't make this freaking shit up. I don't think it's Molly's dad. I think it's Dylan. Dylan's mom, and holy freaking moly. LM Lily Mortenston. Holy frick. Holy frick. Holy frick. It's got to be LM. My stomach just turned. She works at the University of Idaho in Boise. But her name back then was Mortenston. Wow. Wow. Hold on a minute. Who's the Mortenston that worked in the grub truck? We were told it was the brother. Stepbrother? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Hold on. Her name is now Lily Robb. Her name is Lily Robb. She remarried twice. She works at the University of Idaho right here. This is all public information. This is nothing. Absolutely nothing. His name is Derek. Holy frick, y'all. His name is Derek. DM. Derek Mortenston. And who's the L? Derek Mortenston. Hold on a minute. Oh, this just gets really interesting. I don't know if there's any. They've all made most of their Derek Mortensen. I know they were from Utah. Brent, family members, that's all public information. I'm not going to say anything that's not. We're speculating, theorizing, and researching. Rocky Mortensen. I know Mortensen had an insurance company at one time. Dillick Mortensen. Hold on. Derek. All right. Wow, they said his name in the video. Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to this. So if this is Lily, LM, his daughter L was Lily. Would that make sense? P told me in 2020 he drove Derek. No, he drove D, that's the female's name. He drove Derek, his daughter L, and G up to a place a family goes to have a vacation almost every year. So that's the family unit. P told me there was an altercation. G, who's G then? Dilly, yeah, I think it's. Who is G? Who is G? GM. Gabe Mullins. See, ask and you will receive. Gabe Mullins. Gabe Mullins. Parma High School. Holy freaking moly. Do you guys remember the investigation? Ha. Oh my God, you guys. Yes, there was. Yes, there is, Amanda. Yes, there is. And remember, they called and said, oh, thanks, Dylan. Thanks for sending a K-bar here. Thanks. Thanks a lot. I remember that. Wow. Who was the investigator that went to Parma to do the holy crap? ISP. ISP redacted documents. Let me grab the document. They went to Parma. Ah, crap. They went to Parma. They brought Homeland Security to the investigation. This is the only person that was interrogated or questioned in Parma. This was a 22-year-old. Is that Derek on LinkedIn, works at Grub Truck, and he lives in Moscow? Mullins, Parma. He was a friend. Let me see if he went to the college. Derek, no. What was Mullins? Gabe Mullins? Gabe Mullins. I've heard this name before. Gabe Mullins. I don't even see him. Did he attend the school? I don't see anything for him. I don't see anything for Gabe Mullins. Nothing. I don't even see an address for Gabe Mullins. In Moscow. Boise, yes. All right, whoever delivered that name at Malky. There's no Gabe Mullins anywhere. There's one in Boise, but his birthday is not 2003, so we can rule him out. Not Gabe Mullins. All right, so let's go back with they were interviewed in Parma. It's got to be somebody who knows this guy. Gabe Mullins. Gabe Mullins. Nope. No reference to Gabe Mullins. So let's go back one step, where that's not the right guy. Let's go back one step. Let's review the MPD again. And here is the process of elimination. Phoenix, read the chat. Class of 2027. There's an article, Gabe. Yeah, I read that. Parma High School. But there is nothing on Gabe Mullins. Class of Gabe Mullins. Huddle. Yeah, I just pulled that up and showed you guys that. This is the one I had up here. This guy looks like he's still in high school in 2025. Parma High School is where he went. He was a junior, and he'll be a junior. That's not him. This is Parma High School, 2027. Bio, he's a junior in 2027. He's not even in college yet. He's a sophomore in high school. It's not Gabe Mullins. Idaho sports roster, maybe Gabriel Mullins. Let me try. Gabriel Mullins, Boise, Parma. High school, Gabe Mullins, Gabe Mullins, Gabe Mullins. Huddle, Gabe Mullins. Here we go. Parma High School. Nope. Join Huddle in September 2023. Let me do highlights. Marsing High School. Marsing is, it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. 2023, he's still in high school. This guy would not be GM. Definitely not Gabe Mullins. So go back. Let's read the document again. Let's put the pieces together. So he told me that the family drove D, his daughter L, and G. I wonder if Lily, GM, born 2023. So LB was hanging out in 2020. Wonder who lived there at the time. 2020. In 2020, this was a sorority house, a frat house, sorry. So it was a guy's frat house. It was a guy's frat house in 2020. I remember going back and looking at all these people who lived there. I found a Gabriel from Cali. Okay, so drove to the family, told me he was a hunting style. D told me he had spoken. Okay, so Perky told me he had heard that the grades were and he dropped out of school. L had been verbally abusive to him. L must have been the mother. I asked L and G would travel from Moscow, how they traveled from Moscow to Boise. P told me he believed they would get a ride from the bus. He told me when he stayed in Moscow at D's house, G and his sister would stay in the basement and L would sleep outside or in one of the two sheds in the backyard. So what house has a basement? Is that the verbal cue we needed that 1122 had a basement? Scott would know his own house. He was a co-owner of 1122 King Road. He would know if there was a basement. Okay? Now, if this is Scott Perky saying, I used to rent this house, I own this house, I'm a co-owner, and this family used to come and visit my 1122 back in the day, there was a shed out front, okay? The basement of D's house in the wood pile that was outside or in one of the two sheds in the backyard. Who owned, ownership of 1122 King Road, Moscow, Idaho. Let's see if there is any ownership. So it must have been, check out the name of the living person at 119, last name is M. No, Scott Perky co-owned 1122 King Road. Okay? 1122 King Road was managed under 1122 LLC. 1122 LLC had tons of houses in this area. He owned many of these houses. Okay? So if you look up 1122 LLC, there is a lot of houses that these people owned. And 1122 King LLC or something like that, there was quite a few people on these ownerships, like 7 or 8 people. They all own these. Lots of houses in this area. Okay? So, I mean, 1122 King LLC right here is out of Colorado. It was. They voluntarily dissolved it. It was in 16 years. Registered agent was yada yada yada. This was 1122 LLC. Okay? And it's all been erased and secretive, but we know all about that. Absolutely. Well, we won't forget about that. I'm keeping that in the back of my head. Okay? So, here's another one too. So, keep in mind, Scott Perky is telling Chief Fry, I'm just giving you some information. 1122 LLC also was registered under Dan Etsy. Okay? So if you look at 11, these are all the other businesses too. 1118 King LLC is where Emily Allant and Josie lived. Don't tell me they didn't. I don't know when they moved, but all these pictures and all these photographs of them standing on the roof, and I went back all the way back to where she's sharing her TikTok videos of where they lived. 1118. I'll show you a picture too. This was on top of the wall. These are the lights inside 1118, and this was posted on February of 2022. Now, I don't know if they moved after spring break. Don't know, but they did live there. Don't know when they moved. 1126 King LLC is owned by Dan Etsy too. Perky was a co-owner with him at one point for 1122 King Road. So, I mean, it's a strange organization. I'll just leave it at that. So when you start looking up who owned 1122 King Road prior, Scott Perky would know who owned it before. Okay, we know that Green owned it once before. We know that for sure because they talked about that before. But who would want to hide the fact who lived there previous? Let me just, bizarre. This is really bizarre. This is another half truth. This is a freaking half truth, guys. This is a half freaking truth. Dang. This is wild. This just keeps getting better and better and better. And I know people have looked this up before, but this is something I've never talked about before. And I think it's important because the more we break down what it is, we're going to get to the truth. The family is connected to the house. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's listen to this. I'm curious.
King Road house we never knew about until today. The president of UNI has a family connection to it. In fact, his family used to own it. This house is in a neighborhood packed with students. It was remodeled in the early 2000s to add another floor so even more students could live there. Property records from Latah County show several owners over the last 40 years, but one of the earliest owners was U of I President Scott.
What the hell was that? Why would they show 1119? What the frick? Holy moly. This is Shark Tank.
President Scott Green's family. The Greens bought the King Road property in 1967 when President Green was just a kid. They sold it in 1973. The university says President Green never lived there and has no recollection of the home, adding that his dad bought and sold a number of properties during that time. We asked why the university didn't disclose this sooner, given the rampant misinformation about this case, but we've not heard back yet. When we do get that information, we will update this story on KXY.com in the early 2000s. At another floor,
so added another floor. But right here, he is saying that there was a freaking basement in this house. Look, they would fall asleep in one of the two sheds in the backyard, but his sister would stay in the basement. Who stayed in the basement? Who stayed in the basement? Who else has a basement in that area? Does 12660 Walenta have a basement? We're going to expose these half-truths. We are going to find out, is there a basement in this house? I don't think there's a basement in this house. But this is the back that overlooks 1122 King Road. I mean, you can freaking sit in this chair and look out the back deck, and you can see clearly 1122. You can clearly see it. Wow, this is crazy. You can sit on the back deck and look too. Right out here, you can see 1122 from the back deck. That is where Moye lived. Let's see if there's any other images. Did you guys see that? Did I not share that with you? I don't think there's a basement. Ugh. That looks like a little basement to me. How come you guys can't see this? Someone shut me off? Shoot. What in the heck? Hold on a minute. Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? Hello? Throw a 1. If you can hear me, 1126 has a basement. We know that 1119 has a basement. Oh, you can hear me. You just can't see my screen. That is so freaking weird. Let me try this again. This is 1260. Okay. Let me see if it'll load. Come on, work with me today. Creepy screen. 112. Okay. Yes, 1119 is owned by them too. Here's my point, folks. Here's my point. 1260 Walenta, Moscow, Idaho has a basement. Okay. Per Scott Perky, he just said, you have to listen to the context he said. Okay. Someone told me, okay, he stayed in the basement. But here's what Scott Perky said firsthand. We're walking past the male's campsite, so we went up on the hill where he could observe and make sure nothing was going to happen. P told me Perky had been up on the hillside for several minutes in the dark when all of a sudden G appeared out of nowhere. P told me it startled him for a minute because he never heard or saw where G came from. P told me G pulled out a knife to show him. Okay. Now this is Perky standing and G came up from behind him. So was he at the hill of 1122? I'm sorry, 1260? That has a basement, but Perky is standing on a hill. That would be 1122. That would be 1122. Okay? They all had basements. But if Perky was standing there and he came behind, maybe he climbed up the hill another way. Okay? Maybe he was standing, maybe, and this is just speculation, Perky, who owned 1122, was there, I don't know, who knows, doing some handyman stuff or something. I'm just saying. If you look at the backyard of this, maybe he climbed up another way. I'm trying to get a good picture of the backyard. Here we go. Maybe he climbed up another way right here in this picture. Whoops. Where'd it go? Shit. I hate when that happens. Maybe he climbed up another way. If you're standing in your own backyard, there are two other ways to get up to the backyard with no fence. One is to go around this way. Why is that door open? That's that truck. Okay, so one is to go around the left side of, this little lane here. I don't know what they call it. And then the other way would be to go around up the hill and back down. See these little steps? That goes right to 1260 that I just showed you. There are these little steps that come down this way. And allegedly, there may have been a party there that night. And that is what Officer Schneider points to. And he says, up on the hill. Okay? Up on the hill. So, how did he get back? How did the kid, he found a way to get to the cut through. He did. He found a way to get to the cut through area. Scared the shit out of Perky, showed him a knife. The house with the fence has a basement access from outside. The house with the fence right here. Oh yeah, right on the side. You can see it. Dang it, I clicked off it again. You could see it right on the side, Amanda. Good eye, girl. You are hot on fire. There's an access, there's a basement right here. This 1112, the security cam house, turned a basement into rooms. Look at that underneath that hillside. You see there's a basement under there. I wonder if these have basements that all connect. Holy frick. Holy frick. The Queen's on King. I bet you all these houses have basements. I'm not saying tunnels, I'm saying basements that connect. Holy freaking moly. And how did the Red Cups get over there? How did I've been thinking about that for days. How did they escape without being seen? Holy frick. We know that there's tunnels, but we don't know if these basements connect. It wouldn't be tunnels, it would be basements. Holy frickin' moly, folks. I am going back to a video. He points up to the hill. Officer Schneider, when I showed you that what's-his-face comes in, and he says, he stops and he asks the guy, he says, I'm going to frickin' lose it. He does. He's like frustrated. This house has a basement. This house has a basement. That house, I don't know if it has a basement. 1118. I don't know, but they all walk over there.
That's right.
That doesn't look like it has a basement. Let me slow. That house we know has a basement.
Yeah.
This house, I think it has a basement. But Scott Perky just said there's a basement. This one might have a basement. That's right across the street. There's a window there. There's windows down here. That has a basement. Let me see where he walks around the neighborhood. I want to see who else has a basement. That house has a basement. One. Hold on a minute. This house that has access to a basement. That one has a basement right here in the back on the hill on the other side where this tree is in the middle of the screen. That one has a basement. What kind of system is this, folks? What were they running in this area of this road, of this street? I'm just looking at the houses to see if they have basements. I'm wondering if all these houses right here connect underground basements. I don't see anything here. This one might have a basement. I'm going to go back to another body cam. Hold on. That one has a basement. That one was a basement. That one has a basement. This one I know definitely has a basement. Amanda, see if 1118 has a basement. I'm not seeing anything that may be showing a basement. I'm going to keep looking. We know this one has a basement. We know they owned all these. We know people had construction companies that worked on these houses. I don't know if this one has a basement or not. 1118. Question the unthinkable, folks. Everybody that hung out together were in different sororities that had basements. What do they have in common? At 1122, evidence photos didn't like the girls had been moved and opened the back crypt. It has 5 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. No basement? That was a blank switch for Caleb. There was some type of hidden. Yeah, we know that. We know that, definitely. Underground in these houses. 1122 has an attic. We let me see. I thought they always did. Basements have passageways that leads to go into the tunnels. That's possible. Now, we're not talking tunnels. We know that there's tunnel systems. I believe this 100%. Guys, I live in the desert. I know there's tunnels. Okay? Just saying. That's a lot of basement space. There's a map of steam tunnels. We went through those, Bertie and I, back in the days on TikTok. We even found videos. He found a video. We showed it. We talked about the tunnels. We definitely talked about that. And this is what my key is. There it is. That hill has everything connected. And do you know on the backside of this hill, they blurred it out. Somebody in the university has wine parties up there on the other side of the hill. Yeah, a professor or somebody like that. Now, exactly where someone was running. Okay, so who was it? Whose body cam was it? Was it Snyder? Snyder's body cam. I always wondered how. Holy freaking moly. Y'all, it just hit me. Hold on a minute. He goes over here. Ah, shit. Look at this backyard. Look at this backyard. That's 1118. And if you don't believe me, you can go on Instagram and you can go look at the pictures. You can go look. There's people on the side of the house taking pictures. I'll show you real quick. I'll show you. They are on the back side of this house. They're sitting on the deck. This is the back side of this house right here. This is Jack Decor's house in the backyard, right there in the back. Okay. So, and there's the truck. There are pictures. This is the 1122. There's the router on the back. There's the TV screen that was there. That's inside 1122. Okay, so there are pictures of proof that that's where they are, where they lived at one time, Josie and Emily. Okay, so let's go back to this picture. Hold on. Let's go back to Snyder's camera. This is the side of that house where they took that picture that I just showed you. Does this house look like it has a basement? 1118 King Road, Moscow basement. Hold on one second. Does it have a basement? It's not for sale. I don't care. I don't see. This is probably the only flattest house that may not have a basement. That's the side of the hill. That's the picture. They all own the same house. The guy who did the construction almost did the same thing. They're all managed by Team Idaho, folks. Yeah. Scariest shit I've ever seen. I don't see a basement for this house. Tax deed ownership basement. I don't see that. Hold on. And you know what's the oddest thing? And this probably happens across campuses. Okay. I think before these houses were ever built, I think, in my humble opinion, that this was some kind of campsite, right? It was a campsite. They started building houses. People could come and camp out. This property back then was listed by the University of Idaho. So they would rent out their favored houses. They would put certain people and approve certain people to move in there. I just think it's really weird. Really weird. It may say no basement, but it could be. It could be, right? The Shark Tank did. This was an inactive listing, and these are the pictures, and this was recommended. This is 118 King Road by the University of Idaho, but it doesn't say that there is a basement. Great single-level house right next to campus, 5 bedrooms, 2-bath home, newly remodeled shower, new walls, shower tub surround, a skylight in the living room, counter has space, lots of off-street parking, no pets. That was one of their listings of their own accord. So I don't know if this even has a basement, but who knows? Okay, so let's go look. I'm curious. We know that someone drives in. We see the red Solo Cup in the road. He's looking around. He goes on the side. How did they get out of there? Now, I looked at this the other day, and it looks like somebody hightailed it sideways off of this thing. Okay. I want you to see what he sees. Look how he takes a step back. There's the Solo Cup. But look at the leaves and how they were kind of dispersed. Look at how it looks like these are steps. Does everybody see this? Okay? Look at where the leaves are not at. And he follows the leaves. Look at this leaf, this pile of trail that goes up the backside of the mountain. I don't know if anybody has realized that before, but when I looked at this really close up, it looks like that's how they got to the top of the hill. Sideways to the top of the hill. Solo cup. He's going to point you into the direction where there's no fence, where someone could park right back there and get up the side of this hill. He sees the trail. This is the exit on the right quadrant of this screen, way up here where that white is. And then there's a garage. That is an exit. They dropped the cup and they walked all the way up the side of the back of this hill. They knew the layout. They knew. Yeah, I could check. I will go and verify this. Let me take a screenshot so I can make sure I get you the answer, because I have been so slammed. And next week, I've got a schedule for you guys. So look at this. Seriously, this is how they got out. Drop the red Solo cup. There had to have been 2 perps, 2 unidentified DNA that was not Mawich, that they did not take Lena Black's phone, like I said at the beginning of this. And they walked sideways and scurried up all the way the back. And this is where the road is, guys. See this tree line right here? The house is over there. This is the tree line to the back of Walenta. And that is exactly how they walked out of there. But after he realizes that, you can see the rest of the trail where they walked. Where did they get out from? There's a basement in this house. We know that for a fact. Okay? There's a basement here. Is there a little escape in this basement area? Did they get through here and just walk through all these basements? Is that where this couch is blocking? Is there an exit here where that couch is? I mean, I'm curious. I'm thinking on the side of this mountain here, on the side of this, there is something. Is this one of those little exits for a basement? Look at how this thing is moved. I don't know what's under here, a pool or something for the dog or Murphy. I don't know what this is, an outside kennel, a makeshift party table or something. Don't know. But, you know, I'm wondering if on the side of this hill there is a hatch or escape or something. I mean, I'm questioning the unthinkable, because that's how you find things. Question the unthinkable. Question what they're not showing you. Man said he was at his training at 3 a.m. in a rib place. I was told it was 3 a.m. for a drill for ROTC, or a mine shaft. A mine shaft, an exit. I mean, is there something under the couch? Was it moved? Is there something on the backside of this hill? Is there an exit anywhere here? Does anyone see an exit? There's cardboard there. You can see they walked this way. They must have jumped up here and walked up. There's 2 trails. They scurried up, maybe jumped up on these cinder blocks, and then they scurried sideways. Bam, a tornado hatch, a basement hatch, anything to get out in a hurry, danger, or anything like that. I mean, it is a possibility. Look at this. I'm going to play it slow. Let's see if we can find anything. Let me go half speed. I'm going to turn off the sound because I hate that sound. It just bothers my ears. I'm going to move it forward a little bit, and let's see if we can see anything. Let me go back. There has to be some type of, and if not the opening, they ran across the back of the houses. A process of elimination, that's all it is. They blurred something out right here. Definitely blurred out some things here. A cellar hatch. I'm just wondering, is there an exit somewhere? Is there another basement that we missed? We know that's a basement. They don't want to talk on camera. They want to be secretive. They might know what's going on there. I mean, Perky called up Fry. Hey, Fry, this is Perky. I got some info for you. I bet I know how they escaped. They're not going to tell us the whole thing. It looks like the people on the hill all have basements. I don't know about 1118 because they're not on the hill. They're on a flat surface. I don't see any basement under here at all. But I bet if they got out this way, went out the back door, went through here, crossed over, climbed out, if there's no escape hatch, if there's no cellar door or tornado shelter or anything here. There's a lot blurred out over here, but I'm not saying I'm just thinking it's possible. I mean, process of elimination will tell us that it looks like, in my humble opinion, someone came out the side. There's their size 13 shoe print, right? There's their size 13 shoe print right here on the neighbor's, on 1118. There's that freaking shoe print. See it? Right here. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm going to grab some water and we are going to do our giveaway, our $25 digital Amazon gift card for the 3 weeks before Christmas. Let me grab a drink of water. You guys, give me 1 second. Hey.
I'm just going to trade my truck off for a new truck.
Well, how much is it going to be a month?
About $800 to $1,000.
Are we going to be able to afford it?
I don't know. It's $3,500 just to replace the few parts.
We've already spent a ton into it.
Yeah, I spent $13,000, and then I still got to take it to the dealership and fix the four-wheel drive. I don't even know what it is. And then the tranny, and then the battery. Look, the battery's 16 years old. They
Yeah.
10 years.
Yeah.
You know, that's another 8, 10. I'm just gonna go trade it in and get something else.
All right, just buy a new truck.
Sit on it, or we just sit on it.
Okay. All right. Let me talk to you later. I'm on a live.
What do you think we should do?
Buy a new truck. Go pick out the truck you want. If it's $8,000 to $1,000 a month, go get it. Buy something you want.
No shit, but I want
Okay.
an electric.
I haven't seen one. I gotta grab water and get back on my live. Love you.
Thanks.
Bye. Okay, let's see. Oh God, you can hear me? Oh, I'm so sorry, you guys. My phone rang like 10 times. I've been ignoring it. Hey, if he needs one, he's got to get one. Y'all don't know the story behind this truck. It's electric. It's hybrid. It's electric. And it's a 2019. He's had it forever. And during COVID, oh my God, you guys, COVID, trucks were so expensive. So our engine went out. So instead of buying a new truck during COVID, because we didn't know how the economy was going to be, I said, well, just save. And so when you have enough, then you can get a new truck. But his engine went out and we had to buy a $13,000 engine during COVID. $13,000 engine to put in his truck. So sorry, guys. Next time I'll make sure I mute, but now you know my deal. No, he said he wanted to wait for a new electric truck. I've looked at Rivians. They're not bad, but I told him if he's going to do it, make sure that he does it after Christmas, right? Yeah, I should just leave. Hey, we've driven this thing. It's got 260,000 miles on it, but the engine, the brand new engine in it only has 3,000 miles on it. So I told him if he's got to spend $3,500, just call a little loss and trade in the truck and get something he wants. So anyways, since you heard me, we are going to do, I just grabbed some water. We are going to do our giveaway. Are you guys ready for this? Are you guys ready for the questions? I have a simple giveaway for you today. It's going to be live chat questions, rapid fire, and let's do it. It's going to be yes or numbers only, and you have to answer them like I would answer them. Okay. I need a brand new car. No, he's not going to get a brand new truck. Something like a pre-owned, something used, but brand new to him. So, yeah. Oh man. Okay. So, let's do this. Yes or numbers only. Okay. So let me just see. Let me see if this is, hold on. What did I do with it? And what did I do with it? Okay. Speed round. Here we go. Everybody ready? Hit that like button. Let's go. We'll get back to MPD report 77. Keep that in mind, Amanda. We are going to look around. But see that footprint right there? It looks like the same size as the backyard. Okay, speed round. Christmas speed round. Yes or no? Is Christmas more stressful than relaxing for you? Is Christmas more stressful than relaxing for you? Yes or no? Okay. I'm just going to write your name down. I'll give you guys a couple, maybe 60 seconds to answer. All right. Here we go. Let me grab a new pen. All right. If you guess what I answer, you are in the drawing. Do I believe him? Scott Perky? I don't know. Amanda B. Oh my. Okay. All right. First answer, heart of gold. Remember, it's how I would answer the question. No, Christmas isn't that stressful for me. Nothing makes sense. You're in the drawing. Nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense. You are in Chevy Metal. That's what he has right now at Chevy. State, you are in. Rose Allen, you are in. Creepy, you are in. Misinformation, you are in. And Donna Rosa, you are in. Chocolate dipped strawberries. What a name. You are in. And Cat's Girl, you are in. Woo, we got a lot of people. All right. Now, next question. How many days before Christmas do you usually finish shopping? It's a number. How many days before Christmas do you usually finish shopping? I've written my number down. Let's see how many you guys get. I didn't hear the question. I was sending something on my Insta. Oh, did you send me a question? Let me see. Did you send me something, Amanda? Oh, you did. Hold on. Let me go back. Let me see. Sorry, I'm embarrassed you guys heard my conversation. All right. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Woohoo! Let's see. Did anybody get the answer? All right. It's how I would answer the question. So, did anybody get it? Rebecca says 3. Heart of Gold says 5. Rose Allen 12. 2, 2, 0, 1. Nothing makes sense. 2, 30. Scout, if you were just coming into this live, I am giving a digital gift card. Inked Mama won and Rebecca won the week before. I hope you guys bought something for yourself. 2 to 3 days, 14, 12, 5, 5, 5, 30 days. Going once, going twice, gone. Okay, that question is over. My answer was 4, and nobody picked 4. All right, so I still have the previous people in. 0, not a fan of Christmas. Oh, Amanda, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, yes or no? Chevy Metal. You're already in the drawing. Chevy Metal. You were close. Yes, you were, Glock. You were very close. I deleted my 4 and did 3. Always go with your best first instinct. That is always the best. Okay? Um, yes or no? Do you prefer staying home over traveling during the holidays? How would I answer this? Do you prefer staying home? Yes or no? I prefer staying home. I'm going to give you all that one away. You are all in. Amanda, Les, yes. Caleb, yes. Nothing makes sense. You're in already. Outdoor life, you're in. Donna Rosa, you're in. You're in already. No talkie before coffee, you're in. Mel C, you're in. Cats Girl, you're in. Scout Coco Cash, you're in. All right. Creepy, you're already in. All right. Misinformation, you're already in. Next question. Oh, this is a good one. I wrote this down last night. How many Christmas movies would I actually watch every year? How many Christmas movies do you think I actually watch every year? How many Christmas movies do I watch every year? Okay. Too many. Too many. Too many. 13, 2, 25, 0, 7, 6. Lulu Bell says 1. Scout says 6. Brenda says 3. Cat's Girl says 5. No, I'd say maybe more. 6. If anyone said 10 or more, you are in. Becca, you're in the drawing. You're in the drawing. If anyone said 10 or more, you are in. Heart of Gold, you're in. Block, you're in. Anyone says 10 or more, you're in. Cat's Girl, you're in. All right. Last question. And then we're giving the giveaway. All right. This is a yes or no. Would you rather receive experience or physical gifts? Which one do you think? It's a yes or no. Do you think I would rather have? Would I rather have experiences or physical gifts? Well, I've got grandbabies too, so we watch all the Snoopy, the Grinch. We watch all those. We watch all those. The answer is yes or no. Yes, 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 yes. You guys are already in there. You guys know me too well. You guys know me way too well. I am not materialistic. I would rather have experiences. Yep, experiences. Y'all are in. Donna Rosa, Rose Allen, Coco Cash. I just suck at this. Cats, you're in. Everyone's in. If you showed up today, you are already in. You guys are all winners. I love it when you guys play. Okay, I got you down. I got everybody down. Everyone is in the drawing today. Even you, Marissa, if you've won before, everyone is in. You guys do pay attention. We have a tight knit, small, very respectful community that I really appreciate you. Everyone gets in the drawing today. Now I feel like Oprah. All right. You're all winners of fun. All right. So let's do this. I've got everybody down here. D. Garrison, let me add you. I just saw your answer. And the only ones that comment, I know you're here. So Lulu Bell, you're in the drawing. And who else did I miss? You get a car, you get toilet paper, you get toilet paper during COVID. One day I'll have grandkids. My boys need to hurry up. I've got 3 now, so we all get an electric truck. Yeah, right. No, thank you. No, thank you. We still are debating on, no, Nope. He had a hybrid. We've had too many problems. I don't want to go electric. You get a chance and you get a chance and you get a chance. Nothing makes sense. Phoenix is Ed McMahon right now. All right. Les, I know I can count on you, girlfriend. You have picked all three winners. I mean, two winners. You're going to pick the third one today. Becca has 14 grandchildren. Congratulations, girlfriend. Wow, that's expensive. That's expensive. All right. Give me a number. I'm going to tell you how many people are in here right now. Let me make sure I didn't miss anyone. Hard to go, Coco Cash, Grace Kirk. I got you down now. If you commented, everyone is in. Caleb, you're in. All right. We better get some thumbs up in there. Caleb, how many thumbs up do we have? And you only have to pay the taxes. Whoa, I want toilet paper. Scout, you're in already. Okay. All right. Let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Nana, Robin, I got you in. 28, 29. All right. Do we have one more that I didn't have before? Let me go through this whole list. Let me go through this. Outdoors. Got true to it. All right. Got you down. I'm going to mix these numbers up so they're not in order. Let me just do random here. All right. Listen to while grocery shopping. Love the live. Love you too. Thanks for letting us know. I like it. Marissa. All right. So let's do this. Stay home. 84. Not bad. You guys are getting better. Y'all are getting better. Les, my trusty mod, do me a favor and pick a number 1 to 31. Pick a number between 1 and 31. I just became a mama not too long ago. No, grand. Oh, wow. Congratulations, Ink Mama. I hope you got a nice gift for yourself or the baby. She won last week. Yay. Yay. Okay, Les, we're counting on you. Pick a number between 1 and 31. 31 individuals have played the game. Good luck, everyone. I'll wait for Les to type that number in. 1 to 31. Where is that blasted like button? Lulu Bell's trying to find the like button. 1 to 31. Who is our lucky winner? 28. 28 is Caleb. How is that possible? Congratulations, Caleb. Oh my gosh. He's one of our mods. Yes, they can win too. Caleb, congratulations. This has been so fun, this whole 3 weeks of learning and spending time together. This has just been amazing. Congratulations. I am so thrilled for you. Just send me, oh no, I know your email address. Oh, look at that. Congratulations. Look at all this love in here. All this woo, all this love. Congratulations, Caleb. Look at all that. That's just amazing. I love our little shindig here. And I will be doing, I'll just make an announcement right now real quick. I will be doing, let me grab my calendar, my calculator. Where are you at? I will be doing one on New Year's Eve. I am going to be giving away $50 on New Year's Eve. So don't miss my live. $50 on New Year's Eve. Don't miss the live, okay? It's so wild. We're going to rush in the new year. We're going to spend some time together. I'm going to have some fun things to do. I'm going to give you some great information. But we are getting so close, folks. We are getting so close to some answers in this investigation. You know, I think they know who did this. They're hiding this information from the public, and it is wrong. Whether this was a movie gone wrong or whether this was something that actually happened, which I believe some parts to these half-truths actually happened. Half-truths, okay? I believe that once we start unraveling these half-truths, we'll be able to see a bigger picture. Now, let's finish this off, and we are going to leave each other with some good, loving vibes, because I want to tell you, there are people out there. Call to action. What would be the call to action? That would be this.
Brian has been essentially convicted in the media. He has a right to have this information withheld, brought out in public, so that people can see it's not this neat little package. So people can start to wonder if Brian's innocent. Your Honor, Brian is innocent. So if I talk about things that are in the affidavit, and if I talk about things that we're seeking that the state wants to hide, I think that's fair game for the public to hear.
All right. So when we talk about this little thing about the Idaho 4, I will tell you very quickly. I'm going to give you a reminder that there was a professor in the beginning of the Idaho 4 case. If you have been reading and listening and following and watching, and even if you've just been watching and not really talking, there's very few of us that are talking about this case still, because something doesn't make sense. We went over that yesterday. But do you guys remember the professor that sued the TikToker who accused her of the University of Idaho murders? Do y'all remember this? Okay, well, there was a lawsuit. Okay, wide speculation from this person on TikTok that she was a Ashley was a internet sleuth, and she decided to do the kind of like a spirit box session or spirit section. And so Schofield sues her in court. Okay, let me see if I can pull this up though. Sues her in court. The documents, has anybody researched this? They say she was a tarot card psychic, right? And she was representing herself. Why did this stop? Hold on, let me see. It just timed out on me. Dang it. I hate when that happens. Anyways, so there's, people out here that were reporting it on Substack and all these other things. And I found it really odd that Ashley Gilliard was, doing the special spiritual investigation. So if you never heard about it, there was actually some documents that were filed in court, and it basically, on Lewis and Clark, okay, there is this document. Let me just go ahead and put it up on stage so you can see it. Let me see if it will do this. All right, let me try one more time. These documents are wild. It's all public information. You can get out there and take a look. And here is the document. This is the actual court case. You're going to want to look at this one. Schofield versus Gilliard. Yes. The professor did it in the dining room with a candle. It was wild. Okay, she's technically a medium. Okay, and she'd been right in some other cases. Now I know everyone is telling me, did you hear the latest on Sue the tarot card reader? And I'm like, not really. Someone sent me a video. I listen to some of these things and I notice some of these things, but I don't always believe in these things. Now, if you ask me, I believe in the spirit. Okay. I'm not saying what spirit I believe in, but I'm telling you, I believe spirits are all around us. And if you're listening, you will be able to listen and kind of decipher or have discernment on what they're trying to tell us. Okay. So Rebecca Schofield places this this professor at the University of Idaho. And Ashley files this document, okay? I don't put any energy into psychics. I mean, I think a spiritualist is different than a psychic. When you look at this, Schofield was suing Ashley. She files a complaint, a counterclaim, but the judge throws it out, okay? It was the plaintiff, the professor's job to obviously prove her case against her. There was no proving of any case, and so she files this answer, this counterclaim, but the actual claim itself was wild, okay? So I want to get to the really good part. There was some filing with Jack DeCoeur all over this saying that he initiated this. Now, this is all public. This is what they claimed, that Jack DeCoeur was in on this. Now, I don't know if this is true. I have no idea. And I don't know if anything of what they're saying is true. But when you start reading this document, you're putting this in a sworn statement that you believe this, okay? And the whole gist of this was that she was saying on November 13th, Kaylee, Xana, Maddie, and Ethan were murdered as initiated, planned, and executed by this professor. Now, this was all hearsay, okay? Because Rebecca Schofield won this lawsuit. They basically said Ashley, she used her social media platform and books to answer questions related to a variety of unsolved murders at random. She used her intuitive abilities. This is what they are saying about this case, okay? So they're saying that basically that Jack DeCoeur was working with this professor. And the oddest thing that I found to date is that Jack and Kaylee were alleged to have broken up 3 weeks before the unaliving. 3 weeks. Has anybody heard this before? Has anybody heard this before? Anyone at all? I've never heard of 3 weeks before, but it's out there. It is definitely out there that they had broken up 3 weeks before these unalivings. Now, is it even possible that these people were really involved? That these frats were involved or these sororities were involved? I mean, remember our list. This is our factual list from the MPD that gave us this information, right? We do know that these individuals have some common connections, very common connections. We do know that they lived at this address. They're on top of their own roof, right? They're standing on their roof. Was the significance of the breakup? Don't know. I don't know anything, honestly. I'm just looking and watching. But there is Pete Longoria, and there is Josie, and there is Ethan. Their friends have liked this post. I don't know where people are getting their information. Have no idea. Caleb, it was said it was because she was moving to Texas and it was mutual. I don't think it really sounded like it was mutual. And she dated frat President Reed Upmore for a bit. He was too aggressive for her. It was said, yes, she told her parents. Steve did tell that story. Said he wasn't so nice. Some say RU was definitely involved. And here's my question. If RU was involved, why is he not on their list? I've heard 3 weeks. It was around Memorial Day. He sounded angry. Yeah. I mean, there is a lot of similarities. These people knew each other. It seems like everybody had a vendetta. His comments on her post, true, they were very strange. I don't think he did it. Even if he was crossed with Kaylee, he wouldn't have exposed Murphy to that. I don't think so either. And obviously, in this case, she had no legs to stand on. She basically asked for $2 million in relief, and this was her counterclaim, her answer. And basically that, the University of Idaho and the students, okay, the claim was filed with the intent to obstruct criminal justice in the case of the murder of 4 University Idaho students by preventing suspicion of Rebecca Schofield in the role of the unalivings of the murders. Now, this is what I mean by half-truths. We have a lot of half-truths that we're trying to understand. I don't want to be, sidelined or disrailed or whatever you want to claim it, whatever you call it. This claim was, in my humble opinion, another distraction, but it's a lawsuit. It's a factual lawsuit that Ashley lost. She lost. Nobody wants to lose a lawsuit, folks. Nobody wants to get side-roaded into charges, go to jail. There's a lot of stuff in this document. I'm going to put it in the chat. You guys can go read this. We'll talk about this at a later date. There's some interesting things in here that has to do with Wendy J. Olson, who was asking and begging. Remember, a little while ago, she was asking and begging for the documents. Now, I don't know if you saw my video. There are some new orders in place with the state of Idaho. And basically, more hidden things. Just more hidden things, one after the other. And here we go. A new order. Redacting. This is what's going to come. And this is what's going to happen. I'm going to show you one step at a time here. Anytime you see new listed on this, the courts made it very easy for us to see what was new. And there is nothing that has been unredacted yet. But Judge Hippler just a little while ago signed this document saying the following will be unsealed. Okay? They're going to unseal warrants, continue to their sealed status. With objection to the following documents, the court received no objection by either party. Yeah, I just saw it come through on my email. This is going to be continued sealed. Okay, they have no objection. With regards to the documents, the court received objection by one or both parties to their unsealing. However, after considering the objection, the court finds no further justification to keep these sealed. Look at all these ones that they're going to keep sealed, though. Look at all these. These are all going to be, the ones right above this are all going to be sealed. These will be unsealed. Documents to remain sealed. So all these documents, 95, 99, 100, 102, all the way down to 177 will be unsealed. I don't know when, but they're going to do it. Documents to maintain. Let me just go back one step. I'm going to go over to the repository and I'm going to see what 95 is. 95. Let's see what 91 is. 95. Maintain sealed. These are all the ones that they're going to stay sealed. 91 is Exhibit C to defendant's third supplemental for discovery. It has sensitive information from third parties to release of which into public realm would be highly objectionable to a reasonable person. They shall remain sealed. Douglas remains sealed. States defendant motion in limine sealed. Discovery sealed. Documents to unseal and redact. Third-party witnesses penalty phase. Private information will be redacted. Defendants Exhibit 1 support objection. That will remain redacted but unsealed. Motion to limit 5. Only a portion of D20B will be redacted. This is jury testimony. This is Seat, Miller, Malchek, White. Those are the people from the forensic labs. Undisclosed expert testimony. They're going to redact Bates, all these Bate numbers, which I'm interested to find. They're going to unseal a lot, but they're going to redact for personal information to keep certain things sealed. Now, this will be redacted. Portions of 1 through 4 will filing disclose names and dates of birth individuals identified by Ortham Labs through IgG as potential genetic relatives of the DNA left on the knife sheath. It will be redacted to protect this personal information. The aggravator, text messages, testimony, the 4 digits of phone numbers and the username of all email addresses will be redacted. S1, I want to see what this is. That's the 911 call. Will be redacted in its entirety as it is a transcript of the grand jury testimony, which is exempt from public disclosure. Huh. Wow. If they're saying that they're not going to unseal it, they won't answer FOIAs. They won't. They're going to go by what the court says. Redacted and unsealed. The transcript of hearing held January 23. I want to see what that hearing is. January 23 hearing. Let's see what it is. 3-3 hearing. 3-3 hearing. What was it? Let me see. 3-3. Let's just see what it was. 3-3. Where are you? Should have went from the bottom up. Dang it. 3-3 hearing was 3-3 hearing. They had a lot of things going on. Motion in limine, motion, defendant's motion, witness stipulation. Hold on a minute. Let's see. 323. They had a hearing on 323. I don't see a hearing on 323. Hold on. It says 220 transcript of hearing held January 23, 25 redacted. This document was filed in redacted form. It will be unsealed as redacted. Transcript of hearing held January 23 of 2025. January 23, 2025. I don't see anything. Oh, shit. I'm looking in March. I'm thinking 3. Sorry, guys. I want to see what this hearing is. 123. Was that IgG? Stipulation, order sealing. January 23rd. Hearing. Order denying motion to unseal IgG. Okay, well, that'll be redacted and unsealed. Heavily redacted document was filing during litigation. Several of these redactions will be removed on 4. What was 4? Footnote 4, state text and testimony. They're going to give us more info. I hope we find out who the actual new contact was for Dylan. They better release some of this information. I sure hope so. CFN document 150 was misstated in the court's 3rd trial hearing. Sensitive crime scene photos. Defendant's request, mental health, 4 digits, email, Bates. Court minutes 123 were made with Ortham Labs. Redacted, no contact, order proof of service. modifying, amending. No, wow, they're not going to unredact. Wow, they're not really releasing much. They're not releasing much. Jeez. Private, protected. Those are the emails I get back. When I ask for a FOIA, they say, nope, it's private, protective. Private, protected. Crazy. Okay, so that order will come out when you start seeing anything that says new next to the, just like it says new or redacted. I'll go live and we'll talk about what was unredacted. I always do. Always. And it'll go back all the way down. January 23rd. Let's see if anything pops up. I'll do a whole live on the unredacted stuff like I always do. Nothing's been unredacted yet or released. I'll keep on the lookout, just like I check and I get an email every time there's something added. But one thing I wanted to do real quick is look at the case summary. Let's look at the case summary and see what's going on here. So we got an order unsealing and redacting right here. That was just today. Well, it was yesterday. It comes out today. So that's everything that's happened. That was sealed. We can't see it in the repository. A decision without a hearing. So, yep, Judge Hippler will put some information in there. There's a bunch of confidential. Yeah, that's what they're trying to hide. The homeboys and the secret this and the secret that, and they're banking on new facts. The administration will be installed, and yeah, probably. Maybe. I call bullshit, busted, half-truths. EEKS! They got caught with their hand in the cookie jar. All right, folks, this has been an amazing stream. Thanks for spending time with me. I got to go check on my cinnamon rolls. They're rising while I'm talking. I'll put this video up. You guys have been such an amazing group. I do enjoy spending time with every single one of you. I love your intelligent minds. Keep questioning the unthinkable. I will be back. I will not be here tomorrow. I will not be here Sunday. I will be back Monday at 1 p.m. Monday at 1 p.m. So no, I'll be hanging out. I just won't be live. I will miss you guys. I will make sure that I am back on Monday. And I will be live at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Monday and Tuesday. I am taking Wednesday and Thursday off, and I will be back for a Friday giveaway on the 25th, our last Friday of the month giveaway. So don't forget, I've got a giveaway on the 26th, the $25 Amazon gift card for the whole month of December. And then New Year's Eve, there will be a $50 giveaway. And I will drop some new music on New Year's Eve, which happens to be one of my daughter's birthdays. So we'll drop some new music. We'll have a lot of fun. And I will see every single one of you back here Monday at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Enjoy your weekend. Spend it with family. Hug them. They need a ton of oxytocin. Have a great, wonderful weekend, every single one of you. You already miss me. Oh, just watch a stream. Share the live. Share it with one person. Hit a thumbs up on your way out. I greatly appreciate all of you. And do me a favor. Leave me a comment of what type of music you would like to hear for New Year's Eve for the next January 2026 coming up. I'm so excited. New year, new ideas, new beginnings, new answers in the Idaho 4. Drop it below what kind of music you like. And tell my mods how much you love them. Let them know how appreciative you are of them. Everyone, be well. Metal.
Snow is falling on the city street, a quiet hush, a frozen beat. December air, sharp and cold, a story waiting to be told. We gather round a fading light, seeking truth to make things right. From every mountain, every shore, we're knocking on justice's door. Oh, we the people hear the call, the freedom ring, stand tall. The sweetest night, our voices raise for justice in these coming days. Let truth like a river flow. Some promises were left to break, for every dreamer wide awake. But in the cold of fire burns a lesson that the heart learns. From every valley, every door, we're asking, what are we fighting for? Are we the people, hear the call, every for justice and freedom. From every valley, every door, we're asking, what are we fighting for? Are we the people, hear the call, every for justice and freedom the flow. For the silenced and the lost, we remember the cost. For the future we must build a promise to be fulfilled.